Last Friday, Netflix released a new animated film called Over the Moon, and since I watched it, I might as well review it. So, let's get right into it. First thing I want to say is I'm really sorry at how late this video is. I was planning to have a video up last week, but I was too busy being sick, so that wasn't an option. And then I previously filmed this review on Friday, back when I watched it, but then that footage got destroyed. Again. So this is attempt number 2, and about half a week late, and I have not posted since my Hubie Halloween video. I'm really sorry about that, but it can't be helped. So yeah, there's actually not too much to talk about with this film, surprisingly. I'm gonna be a little rusty on it because in between filming this and watching the film, I watched another movie that I had more to say about, called from a couple years ago, called Status Update, which I might do a video on, because you guys have probably never heard of the movie, so I might do a video on that at some point, and I'll have a lot more to say about that than I will this film. So yeah, let's jump right into it. I'll start off with the good stuff in this movie. The animation looks fantastic. I mean, you can tell they pumped some good money into this. It's the colors are vibrant, the line work, even though it's not drawn. I should say the motions of the characters are very fluid, and everything moves fluently. The cinematography is pretty good for the most part. I'll get into more of that later. And yeah, the voice acting is stellar. There's only a couple names I recognized in this, and those were John Cho and Ken Jeong, who I'll get into later, and I'll get more into them later. And everyone does their job very well. The actors all put their all into these performances. They don't hold back. Yeah, that's probably the only stuff that's like just all on the good side. Now let's get into more of the mixed aspects of this film, and the biggest, like, kind of half and half thing with this film is the songs. I was not expecting this to be a musical. I wasn't. I went into this film expecting just a straightforward animated film, and then they started singing, and I'm like, oh crap, this is a musical. Did not expect that. So yeah, that was kind of a surprise, and honestly, not a very welcome one, because these songs are not very good. A lot of these songs are very generic, and there are a couple exceptions. There's one pop song by the moon goddess that Fei Fei meets when they first show her. She sings this like pop song, like she introduced to kind of be like Christina Aguilera or Rihanna or something, I guess. And not a huge fan of that song. There was also a kind of rap battle-ish kind of thing between the goddess and Chin, who's going to be Fei Fei's younger brother-to-be, when they're playing a ping pong match. And you guys might already know, I think I mentioned this in an earlier review, but I hate rap music. As far as rap music goes, it wasn't that god-awful, but it wasn't needed and was also kind of dumb. And the boring visuals didn't help. Yeah, that was the only scene where the visuals got kind of boring. They were trying, but that's another thing. The designs are very creative. I think the designs of both the humans and the creatures they come across on the moon are very well designed. I think these are some very good designs. But it's wasted on characters that are either underdeveloped or not very likable. The one exception is her little brother Chin, and while he's a bit annoying, he's probably the most entertaining character in the film. The lead character, Fei Fei, is a complete bitch. Basically, what sets this plot in motion is that she believes in this moon goddess, who ends up being real, which is kind of dumb, but okay. And she wants to keep her father from getting remarried, after her mother died, I think 4 years before this happens. And here's the problem. She treats this woman like shit. Even though this woman has been, ever since she met Fei Fei, has been nothing but kind to her and trying her damnedest to to make sure she makes a good impression on this man's daughter, and she treats her like shit. And there's even a point later on in this film where she says, "I must stop my father from marrying that horrible woman." Bitch, she's been nothing but kind to you this entire time. You can't not call her an awful person when you're going all the way to the freaking moon to keep her out of your life. That is just... I know what they're trying to get across here, but they failed. It didn't come across the way they intended, and it really makes me hate this character. The side characters are fine. Ken Jeong's character, is it Gobi or Gobi? He was this, like, the residents of the moon who are under this goddess's control are made of, like, candy, I think, because I think, like, the security is made of, like, lollipops, but with legs instead of sticks. I believe Gobi is this kind of... He's a dog, but he's, like, made of, like, gelatin or something. I'm not sure what the hell he's supposed to be. But... And while Ken Jeong puts in an okay performance, his character is so annoying. He would not shut up. It's like, if anybody saw that movie Playing with Fire, you know how Keegan-Michael Key, like, always tried to jump up in the camera and to always try to make jokes and was always talking, never shut up and never went the hell away. Almost as bad here. This isn't nearly as bad. This movie isn't nearly as bad as Playing with Fire, and this character is not nearly as annoying as Keegan-Michael Key in Playing with Fire. But Ken Jeong tries, and I will admit he got a laugh out of me every once in a while. This movie's not god-awful. It did get a laugh at me every once in a while, but I couldn't get invested in the emotional stakes. The comedic moments work fine, even when they don't, like, actually hit. I can see where they're aiming, and I'm like, okay, you tried. It wasn't that funny, but you tried. But I can't get invested in the emotion of any of these characters, so I don't care when one of them's trying to be funny. I don't care when someone gets captured. I don't care when someone's in danger. And that's the biggest problem, and that's the greatest sin a movie can make. Or that's the second greatest sin. The first one is being boring. This movie's not boring, per se, I guess. But the second greatest sin in cinema is when you can't get your audience to care. And that'll sink your movie harder than anything else. So, would I recommend this movie? I guess if you have kids, it's a perfectly fine. Hour 45, I think, is what this is. Hour 50? I don't know, something like that. So, it's perfectly fine. It's not offensive or anything. It's not so stupid that it broke my sanity like Animal Crackers. But it isn't this really good film that I can see adults enjoying too, like Scoob. I really like Scoob, which ironically also starred Ken Jeong. And he also played a dog in that. I'm sensing a pattern here. But Scoob was a movie I can see adults and kids enjoying. Animal Crackers I can see toddlers enjoying and adults ripping their hair out. Oh, like I almost did, even. This one is dead between. I can see kids enjoying this. I can see maybe some adults enjoying this. But I can also see a lot of adults hating this and some kids just being bored. I can see people being bored with this film. It's not a particularly interesting film. The story doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The characters are unlikable for the most part. And the side characters who have all of 10 minutes of screen time are more likable than the characters in the forefront. And yeah, none of this makes sense. The emotional beats don't hit. The comedic bits hit every once in a while, but not enough to keep me invested. So, yeah, again, if you have kids, it's fine, but it's not it's if you have Netflix, it's an easy watch right there, but I wouldn't recommend going out of your way to see it. It's not one of those things where, oh, I gotta go watch it right now. No, you don't. If you have nothing to do, absolutely nothing better to do for an hour 45, go right ahead, I guess. That's about as good as a recommendation as I'm gonna give, because I didn't have a great time with this. This was a really dull movie, which is ironic because it looks so vibrant, but the story is so dull. That's its biggest crime, is that it looks great. It has a spectacular animation to it, but the story and the writing and the dialogue are so dull that the visuals can't save it. So, again, not a god-awful movie, but not enough to be more a recommendation. I'm going to give Over the Moon a C. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more reviews, hit that subscribe button down below. Be sure to hit that like button. And I'm having more segments built onto this. Like, one of the video I was going to film last week was a movie for where I'm talking about the worst films I've ever seen. I think the first one I might start off with was last year's Lion King, because that was one of the films that pissed me off the most I ever had. I'm planning a review for Love and Monsters coming up. That recently hit video, and I was planning on watching it, but then I haven't gotten around to it yet, because I've been busy with school, and I've got my district cross-country meet tomorrow, hence the sweatshirt. So, yeah, I'll probably have that up maybe Saturday at the earliest. But I'll have some other videos popping up here. I'm going to try to post a little more frequently since I missed since I haven't posted in over 2 weeks. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!